In the 4 years since Ghost of Tsushima was released, my gaming habits have shifted a lot. Between life and school, I've kind of adapted a different pace when it comes to playing video games. Playing most of my games in shorter bursts, and sometimes even going months without playing a game that takes the amount of effort as Ghost of Tsushima. But with the recent announcement of Ghost of Tsushima's sequel, I thought it would be a perfect time to revisit the original game and go after a lingering trophy. And to really just experience this game in a way that reminded me of why I love story-driven games, especially this one. To get the platinum trophy that's been lingering on my mind for so long, all I had to do was finish the story mode on New Game Plus. And to make things interesting, I thought, why not make it lethal difficulty? Meaning that I really only can get hit a few times before I die. And for the added vibes, Kurosawa mode. Right away, the fondness that I felt for the game's characters and the world hit me as strongly as it did on my first playthrough. The combat is still incredibly smooth, and I enjoyed it just as much as I initially did. But on lethal mode now, this setting took smooth and dialed it up to intense throughout a lot of the third act, which required more precision and more focus. And overall, the challenge of lethal mode made me rethink my whole approach on combat, pushing me into a new style of gameplay. And on top of that, Kurosawa mode, which removes the color indicators for blockable attacks and replacing them with raw, monochrome tones of classic samurai films, suddenly the combat felt even more dangerous. The lack of the blue and red contrast cues meant that I had to rely entirely on timing and instinct, a fresh and immersive challenge that wasn't a part of my initial playthrough on hard. On lethal difficulty, I felt like I was forced to use everything the game had to offer. Combos and parries may have gotten me through the hard difficulty in my last playthrough, but this time I had to go further, exploring charm combinations, fully utilizing ghost weapons, and unlocking the potential of mystic abilities that I really hadn't used in my last playthrough. It brought a complexity to combat that I hadn't experienced before, and it kept me constantly engaged. Now, as much as I love this replay, I did hit a few frustrating moments with the in-game physics and some quirks in the combat logic. The fights against Khan and Shimura, for example, felt like I was facing a Dark Souls boss at times, and they extended what I thought that would be a few intense moments into a much longer grind, where I died and died and died.
死ぬわけにはいかない。お前に傷つけられた仮面は二度と戻らぬ。私を切れば傷は増す一方。野毛地に背くわ。私の過ちを正すおつもりか。お前に恨みはない。これはわしへの戒めだ。
And died. Yet, despite these moments, I found myself just as in love with the game as I was the first time. My one critique with this playthrough was I wish it were a little easier to upgrade your weapons on lethal mode without needing to go do the side missions. I focused on the story missions alone, but even by the end, after I defeated everyone, I wasn't able to max out any of my weapons off of the rewards that I gained from the story missions alone. And it felt like a missed opportunity to reward players taking on a challenge of lethal mode. Now, as I look forward to the new Ghost of Yote game, I know that not everyone agrees with Sucker Punch's choice to make something other than a true sequel, but for me, seeing that final word not be Tsushima in the trailer revealed something different, and it was exciting. It means we're getting a fresh character, new stories, and a world that doesn't need to fit within the frameworks of the past characters. And sometimes starting from scratch opens up a door for innovation like new abilities, combat systems, and mechanics unique to each game's story. And I'm really excited to see what's next. Specifically, things like new terrains like the snow seen in the trailer, and overall just being able to expand past what we know and expect out of Ghost of Tsushima.